Yeah, good man. Good. I'm actually starting to record now, but yeah, it was good, man. I This weekend I'm moving from Cyprus back into the city, and man, it like my hour commute is now back to 5 minutes, and it's been amazing. So I'm just
Nice.
kind of like running around, like trying to get like the furniture in, trying to like order new furniture, have stuff coming in, things of that sort. So just getting situated, bro, in my new place. So super excited, but.
Awesome, man.
Um, but yeah, let's start. So welcome guys again, Alyjawan, the second time. It's super,
Yes,
super
sir.
cool, man. Your second time, we're gonna be dissecting a deal. Joel,
Right.
this is our first time, so that's super sick.
Yeah, man.
Super excited on this deal. It's like this is like one of those like sexy, juicy deals that like made it to the end of the closing, and I'm super excited just to kind of dissect and have people see and understand who y'all guys are and like just like the nature of like actual like wholesaling real estate and the whole 9 yards. So yeah, congrats on that $55,000 deal. That's just crazy, man. That's literally
Mm,
that's somebody's salary within one
yeah,
deal. You know
yeah.
what I mean? That's actually kind of crazy. But yeah, so I guess a really cool question for everybody. Like, how did you guys team up? Like, how did this even you know stir?
I'll
Yeah,
let Joel go first on that one.
no, definitely. And how we originally teamed up was in your group. It was one day we were going over, I think it was something regarding sales, and I seen Elijah on. He said something about he's from Newark and I'm from Union. I was like, wow, another African American male that looks like next to my age that's wholesaling. It was kind of crazy to me. So I kind of just wanted to see what he was doing, kind of how he was making things work, and from there it was crazy.
Dude,
Right.
that's really cool. And I remember it took me like I had a dumb aha moment where I there was like I knew you, Joel, and I knew you, Elijah, and y'all guys. I mean, y'all found me on YouTube, and then y'all set up calls, and then later did I like you, Elijah? You kept saying like me and my partner Joel, me and my partner Joel, and I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, oh, I didn't even think it was this Joel because I would
Exactly.
talk to y'all guys at different times, and
Yeah,
then like it was just different, and then like finally I was like, wait, who's this like there was this one day where it like clicked. You're like, yeah, Joel from the group. I'm like, wait, from the group? Like,
Yeah, I
oh, y'all
remember.
guys are partners, bro. I was like, what the heck? And then I was like, dude, I was like, wait, how did this happen? And then y'all told me like y'all met from the group. I was like, dude, that's crazy, man. Like
yeah,
this group brought y'all guys together, and y'all were able to like power out $55,000. Like that's insane, and not even just because like maybe the material or whatever y'all guys learned in the group, but like y'all like it was just a point of it's just crazy to me. It's just
It's
yeah.
crazy.
crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah, yeah,
no.
yeah. And it's do y'all guys like how do y'all guys like do y'all are y'all bros or is it just strictly business? Like how is it like yeah.
Yeah, we're well connected. We're like brother from another mother type.
Dang, dude,
Sure.
Yeah,
that's super sick,
No.
man. Whenever you're like, I'll tell you this, like, whenever you're first starting it, the journey is very lonely, and whenever you find somebody that you can connect with or just work shoulder to shoulder with, like, it helps out a lot. Now, I'm not recommending everybody go find a partner. That's what you need, but whenever it happens, like, naturally, like, that's the coolest
yeah.
way.
And I think
Um, yeah,
just real quick on the topic for me personally as well, me and Elijah want to talk about this is kind of doing it all ourselves was one of the main reasons why we couldn't really stick that consistency or see the results that we wanted because we were, finding the leads ourselves, then doing acquisitions ourselves and, looking to do TC work and everything of that nature. So, us colliding, coming together kind of takes the weight off a bit, but then, makes the efficiency just 100 times better.
yeah, yeah. One
Yeah.
thing that I have a partner, and one thing that I told him is like sometimes like he'll be running like just he's Steph Curry, just making everything happen, and I'm just shooting nothing, and
Mm.
then I'm just like just defeated or I can't keep going, and he's there to like just push the team up, and then vice versa where sometimes it's just not he's not doing it or he's just focused on other things and I'm able to like, just push the bag. So like it's cool. Partnership is definitely super, super fruitful. But yeah, and then as far as like like what got y'all guys started? Like how'd y'all even find out about wholesaling, and like how'd y'all start?
I think, well, Joel and we were saying, we found each other from the group. We already had a understanding of like how to do wholesaling, like things of that nature. I think he was, when we met, he was working on his first deal, and I was already working on the deal we were discussing in the other video. So we were kind of in the same stage, I suppose. And then following that, we just, I'd help him out a little bit on, how to, get it to the closing table, because there was a lot of other, and this is another reason why I'm so glad we're having this discussion, because, I really want to get into the reality of what happens in each deal, because, and why it's so important to have, somebody else that understands and can, support you, because there's a lot of roller coasters with the business. Sometimes some things you don't expect, just like how we're going to get into today. But there's a lot of things that you can't really foresee. And sometimes, like you were saying, Chris, with Kevin, sometimes you have that fire and, you're on fire, things are just hitting. And then other times you just like, you feel low. Like, and sometimes you just need that, that brother in arms, so to speak, to like, pick you back up and keep you going. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, it's powerful. Like what, like just camaraderie is what we call it. Is like that's one thing that we need. It's one of our core values here at our company, is like camaraderie, and
next.
um,
You good?
yeah, just getting a call. Sorry. As far as like camaraderie, and so like camaraderie is like something that we're, it's just you're in the trenches with your bros, like that's all. Like, and it doesn't even have to be just bros, it can be sisters too, like whoever's going, we're gonna do this like together. um okay, and then I have a question. So the first starting, like going, like how do y'all guys overcome, I know, doubts, fear, money running low, marketing not turning out, deals falling apart? Like what keeps y'all together? Like what keeps y'all like pushing through?
So I say faith, honestly. Faith, keeping the faith in God, and really pushing for that, because when you look at it and you see, hey, we have to take, we have to lower marketing, or things are not coming in how they used to. If we understand that, it's growing pains, right? That we have to build up to a certain level, a certain flow. But the only way to get there is to kind of stand in the rain and be able to um, move forward from whatever situation it may be. So we really, and that's something in our business that we take seriously, is just making sure that we can believe in God and have that faith to get through whatever battle we might face.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Alyjawan?
It kind of, I thought he said he hit it home,
Yeah.
I think, but I agree. Definitely faith. Like you said, it's just growing pains. Like sometimes, like I was saying before, like you're gonna hit obstacles, and that those doubts start to like creep in. They start to whisper, is this gonna happen? Is this gonna, are we gonna do this? Like I remember, like speaking on this deal, I know kind of I don't want to get ahead of you, Chris, but specifically for this deal, we had Chris actually help us out. And we had to, because basically in our paperwork, and it was my fault. Well, in a way, we had to deal with some attorneys, and they had to draft their own paperwork. They wanted to use their own things. And somehow, some way, the earnest money got convoluted, so they wanted it a bit quicker than we necessarily could have gotten it to them. So it was like, I think it was like a day before, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was like one of those prime examples of like doubt just creep in, like, is this gonna happen? Like, is this gonna go? But like
Yeah.
Joel was saying, faith is just
Faith. Faith, man. It's like at the end of the day, it's like whenever you're making those offers, you're spending that money in marketing that you don't have, and it's not working out. Like all you have is your faith to keep you pushing. Like
Yeah.
that's it, man. That's
Yeah.
really it. Um, okay, cool. And like, what's I know Elijah have asked. I might ask you the same questions, but you know, it's just
Cool.
for Joel too. But you know, who inspires y'all for in real estate? And I don't like asking that question because I don't want you to say like think it's like me. Like say like I'm not like that. Like I'm saying, but like who inspires y'all for real estate? If it's like who keeps y'all going?
I'd definitely say, gotta say you, right? Definitely you, Chris. I'd definitely say you, but then as well as it's a few guys. One of his name is Savion. He's on Instagram. He's kind of the same. He's younger. He's pushing out a lot of deals. He inspires me because it's just seeing people that's very young being able to make a lot of money in real estate. For me is like, wow, what's the difference between me and them? It's skill at the end of the day, and it's kind of that what pushes me to go further is saying, hey, this person worked this amount of time and got this amount of skills, and now this is what they're producing. And that's exactly what has in my mind, like, hey, we need to work every day, because that's the more that we build these skills is the more that we can produce higher value wholesale fees.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's I mean you're saying it like you're wise, man. You're wise, and that's it. It's like it's skill, and like the more I've been just doing the like it's so easy for me because I've been doing the same boring, tedious things, just trying to get better at them for the past 5 years relentlessly.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And still to this day, I don't have a crystal ball that shows how much money I'm gonna make at the end of the month, and how much money I'm gonna spend on marketing in the certain exact dates. Like I'm configuring, everything as we go, but also I have a goal to reach, right? So like that's my end goal, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get there. And if I don't hit that goal, I got to do it again.
yeah.
And just that's it. That's it, man. That's it. Like you're right on the head.
And sometimes I feel that's what makes or breaks a wholesale career or wholesale company, is being able to stand in the fire, like really be able to take those couple of months or a couple of years to build that skill and understand, the things necessary to make money in this business. So I know with one of the deals that I did in Ocala, I remember, I think I was calling you like every day for this one, Chris, but I think what had happened was I was trying to get the guy to send over his the promissory notes amount, and he would just never send it. And I had to call him, and then I had to communicate back with the title company, and then also with the seller. Kind of had to put different hats on, and I was just thinking like, wow, somebody will really quit right here.
For sure, 100%.
Somebody
Yeah,
will really
yeah,
give up at this point. And I understood that for me to really have success in this business, I have to very much be able to stand in the fire and basically do whatever it takes. So
yeah. And Elijah called. I think we were talking about some other thing, and then I was like, "Is Joel closing on his deal?" He's like, "Yeah, actually today." And I was like, "Oh my freaking god, yes, dude!" Like, because I was like, "Dude, I know what he's been through with that deal, and like that's what it takes, man."
yeah,
And sometimes, and that's what it's going to take for some deals, like some deals, especially like this one. Have you ever seen that scene from Spider-Man when he's holding both of the webs at the end of the subway, that
Oh
last
yeah.
scene? Like that's literally how some deals feel, man. Like where you gotta like they're just about to like is just about to fall like this much away from just like falling apart, but like you got to do whatever it takes just to keep enduring.
yeah,
And then if the deal doesn't go through, look how much more flexible and stronger you are if
yes,
you don't give up.
yeah,
That's the
100%.
whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's not over until you win.
yeah,
By
yeah,
I think it was by Les Brown. It's one of my favorite quotes.
yeah, man. Okay, cool. Well, let's start getting into like the nitty gritty and the details of this deal, man. Let's call this the Spider-Man deal. You know. So yeah, how'd you land the $55,000 deal? And what was like the first step?
So it's crazy. I think 55 was what we netted, but it was in terms of full revenue, it was a 65K spread. But and I'm gonna get into it gets even crazier, Chris.
Nice, man.
But essentially, how we first got this was it came from a Facebook ads PPC.
Sweet.
I had a conversation with the seller. In our PPC, they fill out the form. He'll say where they wanted the price to be at, what the range was, what his motivation was, etc. So when I called him, I already had an understanding of why he wanted to sell a little bit and where he wanted to be at. So then I just would talk to him a bit more. Like I asked him, what's going on with the house? Why did you, I see you want to be here. So that range he said it was he wanted to be between 350 to 375. And so we talked about it a little more. I think we were at like that 350 range sight unseen, but I said, hey, if you send me some photos, I can potentially get you a little more. You know what I'm saying? Just working something out.
Yep.
I always like to sprinkle that in. And considering how motivated they are, they'll send it immediately.
Right. They're trying to sell their house, yeah.
And he was just one of those characters. So he sent the pictures. They looked fairly decent. In fact, those are the pictures I used for the listing.
That's crazy.
So
Love that.
we cut costs on that too.
Yeah.
So he sent the photos and everything. It was obviously dated, but it was decent. Like it was lived in, but it didn't look like it needed to be. It obviously wasn't.
Right. Like it's not like the prettiest thing, but it's livable.
It wasn't a full cut.
Yeah, deep cleaning would probably go a long way.
So after that, I believe we had to go to the property to take a look at everything, make sure everything was good. And then we submitted that offer for him at 360. He was ready to go. So and this is where it gets a little, convoluted, so to speak, because he had his attorneys and I remember me and Joel, we were coming from Philly we were coming to Jersey back from Philly from looking at a property. I was on the phone with his paralegal and she was just like, it was crazy, bro. She was saying information that wasn't correct. He was telling us, oh, we don't know if we can get this done. Fast forward a bit. We sent the paperwork. They said, according to their, guidelines or stipulations, they need to send the paperwork. They submit the agreement, so to speak. And so we said, okay. And we just added our stuff into their agreement already. And we sent it out to the seller and he signed it. Now, we didn't know this until after the fact, but the attorneys were actually telling their client, Mr. Who we were speaking with, the seller, they told him not to sign the contract. And he signed it regardless. So I'll say that.
What is going on here, man?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still laughing about this to this day. Oh my gosh. And this is another thing for all the guys that are watching this and they get this analysis paralysis about like, oh, well, what if this attorney says this, or what happens if they did this? Sometimes, like Chris says this all the time, and Joel and I laugh about this because we'll give you like a hurdle or a problem, and you always make it seem like it's the easiest thing to overcome.
Yeah,
the simplest thing. But that's kind of the mentality you have to have, in terms of just like wrestling with certain things that you just can't expect, or dealing with difficult people. But to move forward, after the seller signed, I think I remember sending this to you, Chris. They like crossed out certain things in the original agreement that he signed.
They crossed out everything that wasn't important.
Literally, and it just
I think that's what. Yeah.
And it just looked so nasty.
It did not look clean
at all, not professional at all. So we basically had him re-signed it. We went to the property again. We cleaned it up. I should have tweaked, and this is another thing. This was a mistake on my part, actually. I should have tweaked the earnest money, but this was just a learning process because I didn't expect novations to take as long as they would have. But after we got him on a contract, we started to find a buyer. I tried to do something cash off market, and people were telling me it was, they were coming in lower than we were. So we said, okay, we're just going to list it. And I also emphasize this to, our team, that making sure we do the numbers precisely is one of the best things, because people will say dispo is, and I'll give them credit. Dispo is difficult, but if you have a great deal, you'll be able to move it. Nine,
100%.
you
Yeah.
know,
So people are focused on dispo when they haven't even called the seller yet, man. Like, dude, get a deal.
Yeah.
get the deal done.
Yeah.
But correct me and let me know if I'm missing something, Joel, if I'm forgetting anything. But I believe after that, after we went to his, the property, and we had him sign again. Oh yeah, we had these buyers come in and they were lower. We just put it on the market. We put it up, I think, at a great price. I had an agent tell me it was at a great price. I think we put it at 410, and I had agents blowing me up.
That's the best, man. Whenever you got a hot property, that's the coolest thing.
It was just, that was another thing too. We had it, and we didn't even have a realtor do it for us. We just had it. I think
Flat
we
fee.
paid that flat fee, yeah,
Yes.
and we just put it up there, and it was
Lean, man. Lean.
crazy. Afterwards, I think we had somebody else that we were trying to work with them. They were trying to come in at 450. So
40,000 over.
it would have been 90. That spread would have been 90.
Yeah, dude, that is insane, man. That is crazy.
It is
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, we got, like, we were trying to make that work. We sent the agreement, everything looked good, and then there was one stipulation. Chris, you remember this guy. There's another attorney that we had to deal with, and for context, this agent who brought us, their client was coming in FHA, or a first time home buyer, and he just got, his attorney didn't want to work with investors. He was an old guy. He was a stickler. He liked things the old fashioned way. So he just wouldn't work with us. Chris and I got on the phone with him. He just wouldn't budge. So
yeah, I did. I remember we called them, and I was like, okay, like, just like, why? Like, I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, we're not gonna do a deal, that's fine, but like, why? Like, what? Like, why? And then I guess he was just like, because I don't want to, because I was like, okay, cool, man. Like, I can't force him to say yes. And I tried, and I was like, we're paying for everything. Like, I was like, we're paying for, we can pay double your attorney fee, like, whatever you need. Like, and then he just didn't want to do it. But hey, somebody got his business, so. Yeah.
And hey, we were gonna, like Chris said, we were gonna work with him, but we couldn't. And if anything, like I said, and this is why being flexible and being creative comes into play, because we already had, I already knew an attorney in Jersey who looked at our paperwork, everything was good. He would have done the transaction for us, and he would have represented myself or us and the buyer at that point, the agent's client. And the client, understandably, he was just a little too uncomfortable with it. He was a first time home buyer, so we had to move forward. Fast forward a bit, this is when we got some friction from the seller's attorneys. So they were starting to tell us, hey, we need this earnest money deposit by this date. They kept telling us 2 different days, blah blah blah. And I think it was like crunch time. We had to actually like submit it by like next day. And Chris, Joel, and I, we got on the phone and we said, hey, could you put up this earnest money for us? I believe it was 36, right, Joel?
36 or 38, something like that.
Yeah.
A little under $4,000. And we said, hey, you submit this earnest money to us. We had obviously that conversation, would even you out at $10,000, because obviously this deal was a large deal, so we didn't mind splitting that or whatever. It's almost like you were is that called a transaction funder? What is that called?
transactional lending. Right now, the new thing is like gated lending, I guess, like where the person puts the EMD. But
Mhm.
hey, y'all guys said that price. I didn't. I said, hey, whatever you think is fair. You're like this. I was like, okay, cool.
I hear.
True.
Yeah, yeah.
We want to listen, guys. We want to make sure Chris gets paid.
I did not say, hey, I want 10. I was
You
gonna
know?
start. I was gonna start at 50. I just playing.
Nah, I feel you. But yeah,
But
I
yeah,
mean,
that was cool. So like that dude, you were calling me and blowing me up like on a Sunday, like when I was like doing it in church. Not that I didn't want to. I just like sometimes you just couldn't. But I knew like how serious the deal was and things like that. So I was like, okay, hey, like this is our options. Why don't let's put a pin in it up until Monday, and then Monday we attack and configure everything. But like, dude, I know like sometimes you really just gotta like I was just saying like to Joel, like sometimes you gotta Draymond Green it, and you just gotta like be bullying the paint up until you get to that goal. If that's call people on a Sunday, if that's just whatever, bro. Because like that's if not, if you didn't do things like that, like the deal could have just potentially fell apart.
literally, they were
Yeah,
threatening, I think, to like cancel or like we
yeah.
say we breach,
Yeah.
and we were just like, okay,
So
because
so
I think we had, I'm pretty sure, Joel, we sent like we tried to make an addendum to like extend the timeline and whatnot, give us more time,
Yeah.
and they said no. But granted, after we got that, Chris came through. It was clutch. I was like Kobe at the buzzer. Um, he came through. We got that. I think it's we. It was like a week after we had found another guy that came in. He was cash, and he took a look at everything. He was about business. They came in with their offer, and it was lower than that 450, obviously, but it was still over what we were asking.
Yeah.
And the great thing about these guys were they were cash.
Yeah.
So unlike
that's
FHA,
phenomenal.
it's not like we don't have to wait based on the appraiser's, decision. CAC is guaranteed is final. So we came through. I think everything else was smooth with him. We assigned it to him. We didn't even do the sign by AIF because it was, simple. So we just assigned it over to him. He submitted it. We had to have him submit earnest money, stuff like that. And then great. And then fantastic. We got Chris's earnest money back. He was able to get that back from him. And I think there was some more, obviously some more hurdles we had to go with the closing. There was just some delays with they were
City
inspections.
city
So it's like,
inspection,
sure.
COs. Yeah.
Facts. So it was fantastic, or not? It wasn't fantastic. Excuse me. It was I guess convenient. Everybody was on vacation. Everybody was just not in the office.
Yeah.
So we had to wait weeks after weeks just to set stuff up. The seller had to push stuff back. I think we were supposed to close early June. We closed like the last week of June. So it happens, but that's another thing about the business. And we also had to turn off. I'm glad I mentioned this too. We also had to turn off our marketing because of certain delays that happen that you just can't account for. So that's why it's also important to be flexible, but also, have some people to support you, right? Have those reserves. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
man.
roller coaster to say the
And
least.
and then the closing day. How was the closing day?
You want to tell them that, Joel?
I mean, yeah, the closing day was pretty smooth for us. I mean,
Yeah.
it felt like a fresh breath of relief, I guess.
Yeah, dude.
Uh,
55,000 pounds of fresh relief,
yeah.
man.
No, definitely. It
Yeah.
was crazy to see because
Oh
you know,
wait, bro, they trying to make us pay their attorney fees too?
oh yeah, they
They
were.
were wild. These guys were crazy.
It's
Forgot
crazy.
about that.
I said to him, like, they're trying to make us pay their attorney fees when they told the seller not to sign the contract in the first place.
That's crazy.
And the
It's
seller told
crazy.
them that he was gonna pay the attorney fees, and they kept saying well, this is what it says in this agreement. We're gonna make like we're gonna pay it.
What attorneys fees if there wasn't any closing done with y'all?
It's ridiculous. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's crazy. But dude, I remember y'all guys calling, and then y'all sounded like y'all were just like in the clouds, man. Like, whoa, this is literally y'all. You're like, oh yeah, whoa, yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah, dude. I was like, yeah, man. I know, man. It's like it's crazy. So
Yeah.
So
that's crazy, man. That literally like that. So people think, right? Like you see on Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff. I got 15 contracts, you know, this, that. Like, all you got to do is call the seller, offer them half off, and then find the buyer, and then you make $10,000. Like, no, man, like, this is like the real and rawness of like what it takes to operate a deal with like literally just making it happen. And dude, like now it's like, look at y'all's skill set. Like now, and there might be a deal that's harder, but like the deal that Joel went through in selling that mobile home, the deal that y'all just went through together, like these are like investor puzzle pieces that you know how to like operate now intuitively. This right here, there's not a classroom where they can teach you besides Genesis, haha. But no, but there's not a school where you can actually go and learn like how to do this. This is just the like school of life, man. Like you got to just like y'all guys are dealing with attorneys, y'all guys are negotiating, you guys are dealing with lenders, cash buyers, you guys are doing like so much. Like there's a reason y'all guys got paid $55,000 because without that nobody gets paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like y'all started this whole thing, you know. So like it's just impressive. Like not only did y'all get $55,000 done, but y'all skill set just like went up. You know what I mean? Like y'all now, whenever y'all talk to sellers, like they're gonna hear that through y'all's voices versus, hey, can you do 55,000? Like, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna feel like they're talking to a real estate investor, which y'all guys are. You know, so that's one thing is I don't like it's $55,000, but also like a $55,000 like skill set too that you guys acquired, you know.
facts.
And then like little things that like Joel navigated in his little $5,000 deal. That's huge. Like that's still a lot of money, but like he learned more on that deal than what he got monetarily. So
Yeah.
like, you know, calling people, trying to push to get paperwork over, getting the correct paperwork over, getting people that weren't on the deal to sign. Like these are things that you're able to implement now and help out with like the deal that y'all guys had, you know, versus like, you know, just things like that, man. It's really cool.
Yeah.
100%.
Cool, man. And yeah, so like how's the as far as like the community and you know, Genesis, like what's something that y'all guys you know, learn in there to help y'all guys pull something like this off?
I think we're still learning. There's a lot of heavy hitters in there that just like keep making things easier for us. Like for now, like for example, we're speaking with Thomas. He's incredible, man.
Killer, man.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah, impressive.
very impressive. He was just
Yeah.
telling us about Deal Machine and how we can cut costs there. You know, there's other guys that were helping, you know, build up and join our team. But in terms of how we utilize the, you know, the community more, it was just, I think it's just like, for me, it's just little nuggets, little certain mentalities that you can adopt or mindset shifts, paradigm shifts, and then it makes things much easier, right? So I was just telling Joel this actually literally earlier today. You know, had I known what I known from you a year ago, I would have done so many more deals. I would have had so much more opportunity, so much more fruitful conversations. So it literally at the end of the day just helps more people, which is the absolute premise of our business. A lot of people think when they're getting this done is they could just talk about the property and that's it. But the people do business with people they like at the end of the day, regardless of what anyone says. So if you can help people and you're actually like, and they feel that it's genuine, you're not just, I think people call it commission breath. Like you're not trying to get the reward. I think there was this one quote I heard. It was from Michael Jordan. I think he was like, "Do it for do it for what it is, not for what it provides. Do it for what it's about, not for what it provides. So it's a matter of just helping these people. And at the end of the day, that's what it is, right?
That's super sick, man. Super sick.
Yeah.
Joel, what's one thing that that you learned from the group that helped you?
Yeah, specifically from the group, I'd say just being able to have actively have a community where people are wholesaling is so great to me, because I could remember around last year, um, I basically had no one to talk to about wholesaling, no one to kind of throw ideas back and forth, no one to really even make me better in this business until I joined the group. And then I've met, guys like Alyjawan and different people. But, you know, basically just having people around to, throw ideas back and forth, being able to just talk to and have somebody to relate to, because I know, and sometimes when you're in business, you're the only person that it's like you're talking crazy to everybody when you're talking to other people. But when you have someone where it's like they know what you're saying and they can improve your ideas and improve your thinking process, it's just it does some work.
Yeah, that's super cool, man, and it's really inspiring to see like y'all guys grow and get stuff done, like implementing stuff from the group, if it's nuggets or whatever it is. Like it's super cool, and like I love about the group is like the people. There's always going to be sideline watchers who join a group and then never pursue, but there's the people who are actually taking it seriously. Like there's so many people on there that have never done a deal that have done deal that are starting to do deals consistently. So like it's super sick, man. It's really inspiring to see like, oh dude, like whenever I first started, it's like, dude, I would have loved to have like a community like this whenever I first starting, because like you get to just kind of like be around players that are like doing, deals already. So you're just like downloading software,
Yeah.
versus like, the course, I mean, courses are good, courses are fine, but there's something about being the camaraderie of being with people of like, hey, what's working for you? What's working for me? Oh, this is what I'm trying out. And in the group too that I like is like y'all guys are trying. Like I never told y'all to do Facebook ads. You know what I mean? I never said any of that. Like I teach, I preach PPC in house and SMS in house, but like y'all did y'all's own thing and look what happened. You know what I mean? So like that's really cool. Um,
Absolutely.
cool, man. Okay, cool. Some curveball, questions. Let's go into like your whys. Joel, what's your why? Like why do all this? Like why not just, you know, take it easy, man? Like why waste money, put it into marketing? Why go through the emotional roller coasters with sellers? Like, well, for what? What's the reason?
Well, and me and Elijah want to talk about this all the time. I do really want to build out my actual real estate portfolio, become a bigger real estate investor, start doing some stuff in like commercial, multifamilies, things of that nature. I feel like wholesale real estate, one, you can build financial freedom off, and two, I feel like wholesale is one of the best ways to get into real estate, because you start to understand different investor strategies and you just start to understand the game, whether it be numbers, whether it be markets and areas, you start to understand it. So eventually, if you want to buy a rental or if you want to buy a property, you can understand what's a good market to buy it in. You can understand maybe how to do a creative finance deal or a sub two deal, or, just getting yourself out there to kind of meeting these investors and being able to make money in real estate. So truly my deeper why is to gain financial freedom, as well as, and become a real estate investor, and then, you know, kind of have a big portfolio and things of that nature.
That's
Why'd you say
awesome, man.
become when you already are? This is what I mean. Like I say this all the time. I tell our guys this too. A lot of people think they're like when they're wholesaling, it's just wholesale real estate, but no, you're an investor.
Hmm.
Wholesaling
Yeah.
is just one aspect of investing. And just like Joel, because I share the same sentiment and mentality, you know, I even tell sellers this. I'll be checking them when they'll try and play that tag. Oh, I don't want to lowball offer. You know, I don't want to work with wholesalers. I said, well, that's unfortunate because I'm an investor, you know, and I think it's all about just, you know, attacking it from a different mindset. So, you know, like Joel was saying, I eventually want to do some more creative deals, like purchase some things creatively. I was just at actually I didn't even know this was him, but I was just this weekend I was at a friend's brother's home who's like a huge investor. He does commercial stuff, so I'm gonna, you know, start tapping in with him. But I think this, and that's another thing too, like, this is really just a people's business, and making sure that you can, you know, converse with people and talk with them, but also understand how to elevate and grow, because you don't want to stay at the same place. Like, I think Pace Morby talks about this. He was like, you should really only be, unless it's like your main business and you're cool with it, you know, wholesaling, you don't, after, I think he said around like 5 years, you should start, you know, buying, fixing and flipping, doing other avenues, rather than just, because wholesaling isn't, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Um, investors, they're just gonna, that's a way to get active income. But I believe to get the true wealth is to eventually start to purchase things, build the equity in properties, you know, even start dabbling in other type of properties. All the big names in the investor game, they, you know, they're dealing with certain commercials. I know, I think it was Jerry Norton, he had something in Puerto Rico. Other people are doing land, you know, so just expanding your horizons a bit and getting you, you know, being more open-minded to things is there's another thing I learned from you, Chris, but also this community as well.
Sweet, man. Very powerful stuff. Yeah, y'all guys are loaded, is what I said. Yeah. Um, last thing, um, for each, it's gonna be different. But if this $55,000 deal was a movie, what would the movie be? What would the movie name be? Or it could be a movie too, like one that everybody knows.
It's a good one. It's funny because I feel like our deal did follow a movie trope where it's kind of like in the beginning we had some problems, fixed it, and then, you know, the deal was going until the end where it's like the biggest problem we must face. What I'll say is maybe Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which one?
Let's do man. Let's say Spider-Man 1, right?
Spider-Man, the classic. Green Goblin.
Yeah, Green Goblin. Yep.
Nice. Alyjawan?
The way I'm like going on Google to see if I can remember this movie. It's this, it was like, hold on. It's like this one movie, I think it's called here it is, Homeward Bound. This is probably not the best, but this is the one thing that came to mind. It's about like dogs, like they got lost in like San Francisco and they have to find their way back or something. But that came to my mind. That and like The Wild movie.
Okay.
It came to my mind, and the reason I brought it up and I thought about it was because it's like that journey, like you're in the wild, right? You're in the trenches, and it's just about getting out of there, pivoting, you know, and eventually you just like you find your way back home, I guess, or you find your way back to where you were originally supposed to be. So I don't know. I think that's probably lame. I could have got.
It's all good, man. I mean, there's no right answer. That's super cool. But yeah, gentlemen, I think it's been a pleasure. It's super nice. I feel like I got this one off my chest now. You know what I mean? Like as far as like for y'all getting y'all's deal together, that's super, super cool, man. Like $55,000, dude. That's like half of our revenue, man. That was half of our revenue this month. So, dude, that's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And where can everybody find y'all guys if they wanted to connect?
I guess my Instagram is it no limit? No, wow, that's crazy. It's Alyjawan, my name, Alyjawan the Great. I don't be on it too much, but
That's a good thing.
We're there.
Cool.
Yeah, you can find me at Joel Malcolm _ on Instagram. That's my main source. I'm on Instagram, so if you contact me,
Sweet.
I'll be able to respond.
Sounds good. Well, yeah, guys will be, blown up from, people to, reach out. So, and they'll be looking for some help. So help them.
Yeah, sure.
All right, guys. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Yes. All right. All right.
No, you really left.